Hello athletes, we are here today. I'm very excited. I got my new pair of Newton Distance S9. These are the stability version of the Distance. I'm going to give a first impression of the shoes, maybe a few details, maybe why I picked the shoes over any other brand. Like all Newton shoes, the Distance are like very bright green, a little darker on the back, that it gets lighter on the front. Maybe the lighting here is not really helping, but they are very bright. The regular Distance version are bright yellow. Now I'll show you a little bit around some details. It has a nice color over there, green all over, and the bottom part. These shoes are, the Newton shoes are very characteristic for the prongs in the bottom, the 5 prongs over here, as you can see. That is primarily from the reaction technology these shoes use. You had to run primarily on the front part of the shoe, the forerunning technique, land on these prongs, and the prongs help you to essentially propel forward. That's essentially how the reaction technology works. The shoes are very light, 7.8 ounces. Maybe those are like the lower sizes. The bigger sizes like this one, the 12.5, is probably going to be a little bit more than that. The shoes has a very aggressive drop. It has from heel to toe 2 millimeters drop. So if you never run with such a drop, you probably need to do a little bit more of training or preparing for shoes like this one. If you're a heel runner, the same, you're probably going to need a little bit of training to do a transition to these kind of shoes. The box, the heel box of the shoe is very strong. Probably for the stability section of this version, I am a overpronator and I have flat feet. So the box is something like very important for me. The mesh also is some very important of these shoes. These are not trail running shoes, and the reason I'm explaining that is because the mesh is a very soft, flexible, and giving mesh. I'll try to put my hand over there, and maybe you can see like how the finger pops over there. If you're running this through hill runs or like gravel or anything like that, you'll feel that the front part of the shoe won't hold your feet. So if you're like a trail runner or you want shoes for trail running, you probably need to grab another version or another brand, but they are trail running shoes. The two box is decent. It's not huge. It's only this section over here. It gives you a good support until this point, and then after that it's just like the mesh, like I was just talking about. The good part of the mesh is, and that's one of the reasons why I picked these shoes over anything else. The two parts are like the heel box, which is very strong. It holds your, if you're an overpronator, it will hold your heel, and I like that. And the other one is the mesh. It has a big section over here for flat feet. If you tend to move your feet and toes around when you're running, this is Spexer is very giving, and it has no issues to let you move around. The tongue is very thin, very minimalistic. There is not much support over there, so it's like that's something to note. The other thing is the bottom of the shoe. With the exception of what we mentioned from the prongs, there is other sections over here on the top part and the green on the bottom that they are made of rubber. The rest of the shoe is just a very simple foam. It's not super weak, but it's not really strong. I can like really push it with my finger and I dig into it. The shoes is obviously designed to be run on the front part for running technique, and the rest is just basically support. It may not give, and I'll report that when I start putting some mileage on it. It may not give you the chance of land on your heels. So on that area, it may not be a very forgiving shoe. If you get tired and your technique start kind of like wearing away, and you start like landing in your heel or anything like that, the shoe may actually worn in a different way, and that's the part that I'm like curious to see how the rest of the shoe warns compared with the front part. So after that, I would say that I'm just going to put a few miles on the shoes, and kind of like going to go from there. Regarding like the insole part of the shoe, like any other shoes these days, it's very minimalistic, very flexible. There is not much support over there. I recommend probably that you get your own insoles or whatever kind of insoles that you're using on other shoes these days. I'll put some miles on these shoes, and I'll let you know and share like what are my feelings.